All right, let's dive into a big one for anyone in the application security world, OWASP SAMM. That's the Software Assurance Maturity Model. We're going to break down what it is, why it matters, and how it actually works. So let me start by asking you a question. Does your company's approach to security ever feel, well, a little chaotic? Like you're just working your way through a random checklist, crossing your fingers and hoping for the best? Hey, if that hits a little close to home, you are definitely not alone. The reality for so many of us is that software development today moves at an absolutely breakneck pace. And when things are moving that fast, security often gets left behind, feeling inconsistent, always playing defense instead of being part of the game from the start. And that, right there, is the exact problem OWASP SAMM was designed to solve. The most important thing to get right away is this. Think of SAMM as a roadmap, not a strict, inflexible rulebook. It's here to guide you, not to dictate every single step. Okay, so what is it really? Well, SAMM comes from OWASP, the Open Web Application Security Project. And at its core, it's a framework to help you measure and improve your software security. But here's the key phrase, risk-driven. This isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things based on the actual risks your business faces. And this quote just nails it. SAMM is all about bringing structure to that chaos we were talking about. It's the tool that helps you go from scattered, ad hoc efforts to a really solid, well-thought-out security program built on best practices. And this isn't some new fad. SAMM has been around for a while, starting way back in 2008. But the really big deal for us today is the update to version 2.0 in 2019. That refresh was specifically built to handle the way we build software now, with things like DevOps and the cloud in mind. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. But how does this thing actually work? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the blueprint of SAMM's structure. At the very highest level, SAMM breaks down software security into 5 core business functions. Just think of these as the big pillars holding everything up. We're talking about things like governance, design, implementation, verification, and operations. Now, we drill down one level deeper. Each of those 5 big functions is divided into a total of 15 security practices. So under design, for example, you'd find more specific practices like threat modeling and security architecture. And finally, we get to the most detailed, actionable level. Those 15 practices are broken down even further into 2 streams each, for a total of 30. A stream is basically a specific activity. So sticking with threat modeling, one stream is about creating the models, and the other is about using them to improve security. See? It's that level of detail that makes it so practical. So with that whole structure in place, how do you measure where you are? Well, for every single one of those 30 streams, SAMM uses 4 maturity levels. You start at level 0, which means, well, you're not doing it at all. Level 1 is when things are happening, but they're kind of random and ad hoc. At level 2, you have a structured process that's consistent. And by level 3, it's not even a process anymore. It's just an optimized, embedded part of how you do business. It's the difference between one person doing a threat model once versus it being an automated required step for every new feature. Now, of course, SAMM isn't the only game in town. There are other frameworks out there. So to really understand what makes SAMM special, it really helps to see how it compares to some of the other big names you might have heard of. This table lays it out pretty clearly. You've got things like the NIST CSF, which is super broad, covering the whole enterprise. Then you've got BISIM, which is fascinating. It's descriptive. It tells you what hundreds of other companies are actually doing. But look at SAMM. The type is prescriptive. Its purpose is to guide improvement. That's the real game changer. Let me put it another way, because this is probably the most important distinction. BSIM is like a survey. It tells you what everyone else is doing. It's useful data, for sure, but SAMM is the map. It doesn't just tell you that other people have reached the castle on the hill. It gives you the step-by-step prescriptive directions to get there yourself. Okay, so this all sounds great. It's a prescriptive roadmap, it's structured, it's actionable, but where on earth do you even begin? Let's walk through the first steps of actually putting SAMM to work. The implementation cycle is actually pretty straightforward. You start by defining your scope. And hey, you don't have to boil the ocean here. Pick a team or an application to start. Then you assess where you are right now. Set some realistic targets for where you want to be and figure out the gap between the two. From there, you make a plan to close that gap. And the most important part, it's a loop. You track your progress and do it all over again. And that continuous loop brings us to what might be the single most important idea in all of this. This is about more than just a framework or a checklist. It's about adopting a whole new mindset. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? Security is not a project you finish. You can't just plant a flag and declare victory. Real maturity is a journey of constant improvement. Because guess what? Your apps, your teams, and the threats you face are always changing. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at your own security program. Are you just checking boxes to satisfy compliance? Or are you building a real, lasting security capability? Because SAMM is the roadmap designed to help you do exactly that.